Hey guys, what's going on? RetroGamer here, and welcome back to another review featuring the Nintendo Switch. What can I say about the Nintendo Switch that hasn't already been said? I absolutely love the Nintendo Switch. This is by far one of the best things Nintendo has ever made, hands down. The Nintendo Switch released March 3rd, 2017 and saw a retail price of $299, and unfortunately we haven't seen a price cut since then. We've seen a revision of the Switch called the Switch Lite. It is smaller, cheaper, but also a handheld Switch only. And recently we've seen an updated Switch, much like the one you see here, except it has a better battery, and a little bit more going on the inside, but basically just has a better battery. But the initial Switch price is still $299, and that's kind of a disappointment. You would have hoped to see a price cut since then, but it is a hybrid handheld console, and it is still selling very well, so I don't see them cutting the price anytime soon, but that is something I would like to see in the near future for the Nintendo Switch. But with all that out of the way, let's take a look at some of the features of the Nintendo Switch. So as you can see, it has a very tablet-like design. It has two controllers, one on each side. It has an analog stick over here, our new D-pad, our share button, the home button, analog stick over here, A, B, X, and Y, plus and minus on two, L, R, Z, L, Z, R. It has the power button, the volume rocker. It has the fan. The fan gets pretty loud on mine nowadays, but that's probably just because it's old. This is the headphone jack, the cartridge slot. These are very comparable to like a full-size SD card or maybe even to the 3DS games. 3DS games are a little bit bigger, but these just go right in here. Close the flap. On the back, not a whole lot going on, just the Nintendo Switch logo. On the bottom here is the USB-C port for charging and for plugging it into the dock. On the bottom here also is the kickstand. Just pull that out, and then you can put your Switch on the table and play with some friends, or maybe play just by yourself. And then on the back, we also see underneath the kickstand is where you can put an SD card. You're going to want to put an SD card in here if you're going to play a lot of games on the Switch. The Switch comes pre-installed with about 32 gigabytes of data, but if you're going to play a lot of games, then you're probably going to want to get an SD card as well. Looking at the interface, this is a touchscreen display much like the 3DS, but you can also just use the standard controls. And this is very similar to like a 3DS home screen or maybe the Wii or Wii U homepage. It has the accounts up top, all the games over here, the news, eShop, the settings, power button, just your standard stuff. It works for what it needs to do. Taking a little look at the Joy-Cons, you pull these off by pressing a button on the side and pulling up. So you could put the kickstand up and then play with one in each hand, much like the Wii and Nunchuck. Or you can put them in their little holder that comes standard with a Switch. This is the little grip accessory. And this works well for what it needs to do. If you didn't buy a Pro Controller on launch, then this worked very well. I didn't buy a Pro Controller because it was still pretty expensive. It was $80 at the time. Now they've gone down to about $60. But this works very well for what it needs to do. The joysticks on these, this is the first model of Switch, so these have drifted. I have replaced these before, and they haven't drifted on me anymore yet, but they still might. But the newer Switch revision has fixed that, looks like. So that's very nice to hear, but if you are buying an older Switch, you might need to send these into Nintendo or replace them yourself. It doesn't really matter. But also what you can do with these is you can just use one controller to play games. This is one of the big selling points, like Snipper Clips or Smash Bros. Any kind of two-player games, you can just use it like this on the side. That's why we don't have a standard D-pad anymore. It's just the buttons. So if you're going to want to play side-scrollers or the NES Online or SNES games online, you're going to want to have a Pro Controller like a wired controller because this D-pad just doesn't really work well. But for two-player games, it works just fine. If you don't like this like claw design, because the L and R buttons are up here, if you don't like that claw design, you can use what they included in the Switch as well, which is this little accessory here. You just slide it onto the rail, and then it works well. It has the extended buttons up top. It works good enough. You can lock it in, and then it has a little strap, much like the Wii. Unlock it. And one thing I have seen is when the Switch did launch, a lot of people accidentally put this upside down. And so when you slide it upside down, it is very hard to get off. I've seen people break these. So that's something to keep in mind if you do not want to break your Joy-Cons. Also, if these get low, you can buy a little dock to charge these, or you can just plug them into the Switch, much like I do. And then the Switch will charge it. Going on to the Pro Controller, This is what the Pro Controller looks like. It is very nice. I really like it. It has like soft plastic for the grips, and it works very well. These have gone down in price. They're now about $60, which is nice. It has 2 analog sticks, a really, really good D-pad for the NES games and SNES games, the big buttons. It has everything you need, LR, ZLZR. It takes a charging port of USB-C. This will last you about 40 hours on a full charge. The Joy-Cons will last you about 20 hours on a full charge. That is a very, very good life compared to like a PS4 controller. Those do not have very good battery lives at all. But this is a very good controller. I would highly recommend it if you're going to pick up a Switch. That's for sure. And moving on to the dock. This is what the dock looks like. If yours breaks or it somehow you lose it or something, this is going to cost you about $80 to get a new one. Kind of expensive, but as you can see here, it has a little slot, so you can slide your Nintendo Switch in, and then it'll send image to the TV almost instantaneously. Wait like a second or two. It's pretty quick. Then on the back, when you pull this down, you have to plug in the AC adapter and then HDMI to hook it up to your TV. That has a USB right there. And then it has 2 USBs right here if you want to plug in a wired controller or the adapter for the GameCube to play some Smash Bros. That's just the standard dock right there. And then also, the Switch comes with this big brick adapter to charge it with. And this is just a standard USB-C. And this is, I'm guessing, about 10 feet long. It's not terribly long, but it's long enough to do what it needs. And that's just the standard cord there. We looked a little bit at the game, but we can look a little more. Here are the cases for them. I really like these cases. A lot of them have cool artwork, and they're small and compact. They're easy to put on shelves. I really do like the style of them. Unfortunately, on the inside, there's not a whole lot going on. Sometimes you get ones that have like reversible covers. This actually has the controls on how to play Mario Kart. And then you got the little cartridges, much like, as I said, an SD card. As you saw when the Switch launched, a lot of people record themselves eating these or tasting them because Nintendo put a coat on these to prevent kids from swallowing them. So they made these taste bad. Very good design. But we've seen so many good games on the Switch so far. At launch, we saw Breath of the Wild. We saw Super Bomberman, 1-2 Switch. And then we've seen newer games like Mario Kart 8 Deluxe. We've seen Wii U ports like Captain Toad, Donkey Kong, Smash Bros, Super Mario Maker, Mario Odyssey, Splatoon 2. We've seen super cool one-player games, awesome multiplayer games. And all around, the Switch is good, but it's just going to get even better. I absolutely love this thing. I've spent so many hours so far on the Switch. And if you're looking to get a Switch in 2019, I would highly recommend it. If you're going to get one, definitely get the new Switch and get the Pro Controller. The Pro Controller is awesome. It has gone down a lot in price. And if you're looking to get a Switch in 2019, as I said, I would highly recommend it. So guys, in Retro Gamer, if you liked the video, please like, comment, and subscribe. And I will see you guys back here with another review. See you guys then.